In this lesson, we'll learn how to add levels and views to our model. Before I explain levels, let's talk a little more specifically on what views actually are. One of the strongest points of Autodesk Revit architecture is that it's one single model. This single model, however, has to be broken down into a tangible format that allows the user to navigate through a project. We've discussed the project browser, but really, what is the project browser managing? Well, it's simply managing views of the model. We can navigate around the entire project just by going to Views and getting a look at our project. Go into Ceiling Plans, Floor Plans, Sheets, 3D Views, the whole 9 yards. So here's a little bit better of an example. In the project browser, you'll hear me say, go to Floor Plan, Level 1. Level 1 is simply a view. If we come down to Elevations, and we go to South Elevation is simply a view. The project browser manages all of these elevations in one shot. You literally don't have to leave the project. And also, datum in the project are live and linked to the project browser itself. So I can double click on all of my datums and go to these levels anytime I want. I can go to callouts, sections, whatever I need to do. That's all linked to the project browser. Without the project browser, Revit's just another CAD application. So let's get started. Open the file you've been working on, or open the file called Chapter 4 and follow along. What I'd like you to do is go to the project browser and scroll down till we see Elevations. Let's go down to the South Elevation, double click that, and let's open it up. Let's zoom into the right side and see what we have here. We have Level 1 and Level 2. The first task is to move our levels out of the building so we can actually work on them. What I'd like you to do is select Level 1. Notice all the activity. We now know that blue items in Revit are editable. Also, what we see is this little drag grip. This is the same as walls and other items in Revit. If you hold on to this drag grip and drag it out, we'll get it right out of the building. What I do a lot of times is I hold down the pick button and then I actually take my middle finger and I wheel out a little bit so I can see everything. But also notice there's a little lock icon. This means that when we move the levels, the other levels will move with it, which is a fantastic way to control your standards and create symmetry in your model. So once we're outside of the building a little bit, go ahead and pick a point or let go of the button. Hit Escape a couple times. The next task is to create a new level. On the Architecture tab, click the Level button on the Datum panel. On the Draw panel, click the Pick Lines button. Let's give it an offset of 10 feet. Remember, you can just type 10. Now, just like anything else, what we want to do is we want to hover over the top of Level 2. Notice we get a temporary construction line that shows up. Once we see that construction line, pick Level 2. Do not send it down, send it up. Zoom out a little bit and pan down. With the level command still going, let's make up to Level 7. So hover over the top of Level 3, pick it, because it's Level 4. Hover over the top of Level 4 and pick that, Level 5. Do the same for Level 5. Do the same for Level 6. Then hit Escape a few times. Now, in your project browser, scroll up to Floor Plans. And if you look at all the levels we have now. Once we made the new level, it added it to our project browser. It also added ceiling plans as well. Now, let's make some adjustments to our levels. Let's zoom in on Level 7 and select the level on the line right here. What we can do is we can actually rename it or even give it another elevation. So for Level 7, let's click on Level 7 and let's call it Parapet. And then hit Enter. Revit will ask us, do we want to rename corresponding views? That means in the project browser, do we want to keep the same name as the level? I would say 99% of the time we're going to want to say yes. Now on the parapet level, let's click into the datum and let's type in a new increment. Let's give it 52 feet and hit Enter. It's going to drop our parapet level down to 52 feet. Another thing we want to do is maybe get this parapet level out of the way of the level below it. What we want to do is select the line, and notice in the middle here, there's a little Add Elbow button. Go ahead and pick Add Elbow, and now we can make an adjustment. We